Why do two retirees with almost the same savings sometimes end up living completely different lives? One feels calm, takes small trips, and rarely worries about the next bill. The other checks every purchase twice and wonders if the money will last. The difference is not always who earned more or who had the bigger 401k. Very often, it comes down to a few money habits repeated for years. Imagine two couples, both retiring at 67 with roughly the same amount saved. Both own their homes, and both receive Social Security every month. 10 years later, one couple still feels free to make choices. The other feels trapped by every surprise expense that comes through the door. What happened during those 10 years is what this video is really about. Retirement can last much longer than many people expect. A 65-year-old American today may easily need money for another 20 years or more. That means retirement is not one long vacation with a fixed price tag. It is a long series of decisions about spending, taxes, health, family, and risk. The good news is that you do not need to become a financial expert. You do not need to watch the stock market every morning, and you do not need a perfect plan that predicts the future. You need a simple system that helps you make fewer expensive mistakes. Today, I want to share 6 golden money habits that can make retirement feel safer. These are not tricks for getting rich quickly. They are habits designed to protect your independence as you grow older. And stay with me for habit number 6. It has almost nothing to do with investing, but one rush decision can undo years of careful saving. Before we begin, I want to ask you one question. What worries you more about retirement? Running out of money or being too afraid to spend the money you saved? Tell me in the comments, because I know many people quietly struggle with this. And if calm, practical retirement conversations help you, subscribe to Aging with Wealth. We talk about money here, but always in the context of real life. Now let us start with a habit that makes every other decision easier. Golden habit number 1. Know what your life actually costs every month. A surprising number of retirees know their account balance better than their monthly spending. They can tell you what is in the IRA down to the dollar. But ask what it costs to run the household and the answer gets fuzzy. Picture a man named David, 69 years old and recently retired. David has about $640,000 invested. When he looks at that number, he feels reasonably comfortable. But David thinks his household spending is around $4,000 a month. After 3 months of checking statements, he discovers the real number is closer to $5,000. That $1,000 gap becomes $12,000 over a year. Over 10 years, the difference can become enormous. This is why retirement planning should not begin with a giant portfolio number. It should begin with the cost of your actual life. Start with the bills that keep the household running: housing, utilities, food, insurance, transportation, taxes, and basic medical costs all belong there. Then add the costs that make retirement enjoyable. Travel, hobbies, restaurants, gifts, grandchildren, and entertainment belong in a different bucket. I like to think of these as 2 separate numbers. The first is your retirement floor. That is the amount needed to keep your basic life working. The second is your lifestyle number. That is what allows room for comfort, fun, and the things you care about. Knowing both numbers gives you options. If an expensive month arrives, you know what can change and what probably cannot. Healthcare deserves special attention because Medicare does not make every medical expense disappear. In 2026, the standard Medicare Part B premium is just over $200 a month. Some retirees pay more, and other medical costs can still show up. The point is not to predict every future medical bill. The point is to leave room for costs that may change with age. Once a month, Spend 15 minutes reviewing what actually left your accounts. Do not judge yourself over every small purchase. Look for patterns instead. Maybe property taxes rose more than expected. Maybe groceries are higher than last year. Maybe you are helping an adult child more often than you realized. A calm retirement budget should tell you the truth without making you feel punished. The first golden habit is not simply spending less. It is knowing what your life costs before life surprises you. If you are already retired, tell me this in the comments. Which expense surprised you most after you stopped working? Tell me below. Now, golden habit number 2. Create a retirement paycheck instead of making random withdrawals. During your working years, money usually arrived on a schedule. Every week, every 2 weeks, or twice a month, you knew when income was coming. Then retirement begins, and suddenly your money is scattered across several places. You may have Social Security, a pension, checking, savings, an IRA, and a brokerage account. The money is there, but the old rhythm of a paycheck is gone. That can create more stress than people expect. Some retirees take money whenever the checking account looks low. Others become so nervous that they avoid spending almost anything. A better habit is to create your own retirement paycheck. Imagine Susan and Mark, both in their early 70s. Their household normally costs about $5,200 a month. Social Security and a small pension cover $3,900. That leaves a gap of about $1,300. Instead of deciding every month whether they should sell something, they plan the transfer ahead. The same amount moves into checking on a regular schedule. Now the money feels like income instead of an emergency withdrawal. That small change can reduce a surprising amount of emotional friction. It also forces them to understand where each part of their income comes from. Some money pays today. Some money may be needed within the next few years. And some money may need to support them much later in retirement. Those different jobs should not automatically be treated the same way. Money needed soon may require more stability than money meant for 15 years from now. There is no single cash amount that is right for every retiree. But having some accessible money can prevent a normal expense from becoming a market decision. A roof repair should not force you to panic because stocks happen to fall that week. A car problem should not become a reason to abandon your entire investment plan. Your retirement paycheck gives structure to the money you spent decades building. During your career, the main question was how much you could accumulate. Retirement changes the question. Now you are asking how to turn those savings into a life that works. And that brings us to one of the biggest lifetime decisions many Americans make. It is a decision people sometimes treat like a birthday, but it deserves much more thought. That brings us to golden habit number 3. Treat Social Security as a decision, not a deadline. Many people think about Social Security in a very simple way. I am eligible, so I should claim it. But eligibility is not the same thing as the best timing for your household. Retirement benefits can generally begin as early as age 62. Claiming before full retirement age usually means a lower monthly retirement benefit. For people born in 1960 or later, full retirement age is 67. If someone in that group waits beyond 67, the retirement benefit continues to increase. Those delayed credits stop once you reach age 70. For someone born in 1960 or later, waiting until 70 can mean about 24% more. That does not mean everyone should automatically wait until 70. This is where simple internet rules can become dangerous. Health matters, work matters, other income matters, marriage matters, taxes can matter, and the financial position of a surviving spouse can matter. Imagine Robert and Linda. Robert earned much more during his career, so his Social Security benefit will be larger. Robert wants to claim as soon as possible because he feels he earned the money. That feeling is understandable. But Linda asks a different question. What happens to our household income if one of us dies first? Now the decision is no longer only about Robert receiving a check. It becomes part of a bigger plan for two people. Another couple may have completely different circumstances. Someone with serious health problems may think differently about waiting. Someone still working may have another set of considerations. The golden habit is not always claim early, and it is not always wait until 70. The golden habit is to run the decision using your own numbers. Look at your official Social Security estimates at several claiming ages. Then ask what the benefit is supposed to do inside your retirement plan. Does it cover basic expenses? Does one spouse depend heavily on the other spouse's record? Would waiting require larger withdrawals from another retirement account during those years? What does your health history suggest, without pretending anyone can predict the future? These questions are more useful than copying what your neighbor did. Your brother's claiming age is not automatically right for you. Neither is the decision of someone on television. If you have already claimed Social Security, share your experience below. What age did you claim, and what influenced your decision most? Your answer may help someone who is still trying to decide. Golden habit number 4. Never take a large retirement withdrawal without looking at the tax effect first. For decades, workers are told to put money into retirement accounts. Then, retirement begins, and many people discover something strange. Almost nobody spent as much time teaching them how to take the money back out. That can lead to expensive surprises. Picture Patricia, a 72-year-old homeowner. She has money in a traditional IRA, a Roth IRA, a brokerage account, and cash. Her kitchen needs major work, and the total cost will be around $30,000. Her first thought is simple. I will just take $30,000 from the IRA. That may be perfectly reasonable, but Patricia should understand what that withdrawal does before she makes it. Traditional IRA withdrawals can generally create taxable income when you take them. A larger taxable income year can affect more than the tax bill alone. Depending on the situation, it may also influence other income-related costs. The goal is not to become afraid of your retirement account. The goal is to stop treating every account like the same bucket of money. Traditional accounts, Roth accounts, taxable accounts, and cash can behave differently. Retirement accounts also come with required distribution rules. For many people born from 1951 through 1959, required distributions begin at 73. For people born in 1960 or later, current law generally moves that age to 75. The exact rule depends on your birth year and the type of account involved. That is why large withdrawals deserve a short planning conversation before the money moves. Ask what account the money should come from. Ask whether the withdrawal changes your taxable income more than expected. Ask whether a required distribution is already coming that year. Ask whether splitting a large expense across 2 tax years could make sense. Sometimes the best answer will still be the original plan, but now the choice is intentional. Think of it like taking a long road trip. You do not need to memorize every road in America. You just need to check the route before driving 100 miles in the wrong direction. For major tax decisions, a qualified tax professional can be worth the conversation. A small amount of planning before a withdrawal may be easier than fixing a surprise afterward. You work too hard to build those accounts, to use them like random ATMs. Golden habit number 5. Keep your money working, but stop asking your retirement to behave like a casino. There are 2 opposite mistakes retirees can make with investment risk. The first is taking far more risk than their lifestyle can tolerate. The second is becoming so afraid of losses that everything moves to cash. Both choices can create problems. Imagine John, age 67, retiring after several strong years in the market. One technology stock has performed extremely well for him. Over time, he becomes convinced that this one company will keep winning. More and more of his retirement money ends up concentrated in that single stock. As long as the stock rises, John feels smart. But retirement changes what a large loss can mean. A younger worker may still have decades of paychecks and new contributions ahead. A retiree may be using the portfolio to pay current living expenses. Now imagine Barbara, who reacts in the opposite direction. Every market decline makes her nervous, so she moves almost everything into cash and stops thinking about long-term growth. The account barely moves, which feels comforting. But Barbara may still need the money 20 years from now. Inflation does not disappear just because the account balance looks stable. The goal is not maximum growth, and the goal is not zero movement. The goal is an investment mix that fits your actual life. That usually means thinking about diversification. Instead of depending too heavily on one company or one idea, your money is spread more broadly. Stocks, bonds, cash, and other appropriate holdings can play different roles. The exact mix is personal. A 70-year-old with a large pension may think differently from someone relying heavily on investments. A household with 5 years of expenses and stable income has different choices from another household. This is why copying a portfolio from the internet can be risky. You are not copying the other person's pension, taxes, health, spouse, or spending. Review your allocation periodically. If markets change the balance dramatically, it may be time to consider rebalancing. If your life changed, your portfolio may need to change too. Maybe you stopped working. Maybe a spouse died. Maybe your spending dropped. Maybe healthcare costs increased. Your investments should serve your retirement. Your retirement should not exist to serve your investments. A good retirement portfolio should often feel a little boring. You do not need a new, exciting idea every week. You need money organized around the life you are trying to protect. And now we reach habit number 6. This one can protect you even if every other part of your plan is excellent. Golden habit number 6. Make slow money decisions whenever someone creates urgency. Imagine you are 74 years old and your phone rings on a Tuesday morning. The caller says he works for your bank's fraud department. He knows your name. He sounds professional. Then he tells you someone is trying to steal $28,000. He says you must act immediately. He warns you not to hang up. He may even tell you that employees inside the bank cannot be trusted. Then comes the instruction. Move the money to a safe account so we can protect it. Take a second and ask yourself honestly, what would you do in that moment? This is why one of the best retirement habits has nothing to do with investment returns. Learn to slow money down whenever fear is being used to speed you up. Federal fraud reports show older Americans lose billions of dollars each year to scams. FBI reports for 2025 showed people 60 and older reporting more than $7 billion in losses. The exact total will never capture every case because many victims never report what happened. Scammers understand one thing very well. Urgency stops people from checking. So create your rule before the frightening phone call ever happens. No unexpected large financial decision gets made under pressure. If someone asks for a wire transfer, stop. If someone asks for gift cards, stop. If someone tells you to move money to protect it, Stop. If someone says you must keep the transaction secret, stop. Hang up and call the institution using a number you already trust. Do not call the number the stranger gives you. Talk to your spouse, adult child, accountant, attorney, or another trusted person. You can even create a personal waiting rule for large unexpected decisions. Maybe you wait 24 hours. Maybe you wait 48. The exact number matters less than creating distance between emotion and money. And this habit applies beyond criminal scams. A salesperson says the opportunity disappears tonight. Slow down. Someone promises unusually high returns with almost no risk. Slow down. A relative wants a large amount from your retirement account right now. Slow down. A good financial decision can usually survive another phone call. It can survive a night's sleep. It can survive a second opinion. Scammers want speed because speed prevents thought. Your retirement deserves the opposite. It deserves time. Now let us go back to the two couples from the beginning. They started retirement at the same age with roughly the same financial resources. 10 years later, their lives looked very different. It probably was not because one couple discovered a secret investment. The difference came from many ordinary decisions. They knew what their household really cost. They created a reliable way to pay themselves each month. They treated Social Security as a planning decision. They thought about taxes before taking large withdrawals. They kept their investments tied to their real needs instead of market excitement. And they refused to move money quickly just because somebody created fear. None of these habits can guarantee a perfect retirement. Markets change, tax laws change, health changes, families change. But good habits reduce the number of decisions you have to make in panic. And that may be one of the best definitions of financial security. You do not know exactly what the next 20 years will bring, but you know how you will think when something changes. Your money has a different job now than it did when you were 35. Its job is not simply to grow as large as possible. Its job is to help you keep making choices. Maybe that means staying in your own home longer. Maybe it means traveling while your health is still strong. Maybe it means helping your children without putting your own future at risk. Maybe it means replacing the old car without feeling guilty for 3 months. And sometimes it means giving yourself permission to enjoy what you spent decades building. You spent much of your adult life learning how to earn money and save money. Retirement asks you to learn one more skill that nobody teaches very well. How do you use money wisely while you still have the time to enjoy it? So I want to leave you with one final question. Which of these 6 habits do you think retirees overlook most often? And if you have been retired for several years, share one money lesson you learned the hard way. Someone reading your comment may be 5 years behind you and need to hear it today. If this kind of conversation helps you, subscribe to Aging with Wealth. Here, we talk about retirement money without forgetting why the money matters. It is there to support your independence, your choices, and the people you care about. This video is for education and general information, not personal financial, tax, or legal advice. Rules can change, and your situation may be very different from someone else's. Before making a major decision, check current official information and consider speaking with a qualified professional. Thank you for spending this time with Aging with Wealth. I will see you in the next video.